And yeah, so I definitely recommend it, especially if you're not dead set on something by the time you finish school, sixth form, whatever. So I think learning's become outcome driven with the work as well. It's like, okay, cool, what am I trying to achieve here? Rather than like, I need to spend X amount of hours at the desk. Start to think of what's the output of that going to be, and then the hours don't really matter. It's like, did I achieve the output? Yes. Okay, cool, let's step away and do something else.
I bet it makes it more enjoyable as well. It's almost like a perspective thing, isn't it?
Potentially is sort of.
I'm glad you brought it up, because it probably goes back to the question earlier. Another reason I've just chilled out a bit is because like,
yeah, I guess you get reminded how like finite time is, especially when you're traveling and you've got, a month or you've got 3 months.
All you've been listening to for the past 18 years are different camps of people telling you what you should be doing with your life. You need a little snapper, mate. A little...
Yeah, you know that, bruv. And welcome back, everyone. We are back, full force, full fire, full flame. Sexy as always. What?
Yeah. Just turn the ringers off.
Little error screen.
Yeah, one of them.
And we are back. We are live, full force. This is the Sunhouse Project. I'm Henry.
This is Ed.
Welcome back.
Guest with us today. Introduce yourself, please.
Hey, I am Freddie Castagne. I've known these boys a while. Played rugby with Ed a little bit. Henry, don't even know how we met, mate.
Yeah,
but
I know, mate.
We met at some point. Yeah, I'm on a gap year now. Just finished up the A-levels. Figuring out life, figuring out what to do. So yeah, that's it really.
Which is good. I feel like that's a relatable time of life for a lot of people watching. So useful for the viewers to kind of see what to do with a gap year, for example. If you are going to choose to do a gap year, I feel like we would highly recommend that.
Yeah.
How have you found it so far?
Yeah, 100%. It's it's useful sort of time of reflection. Like if you don't know what you want to do, it's nice to have a step back. I think you can then make a much more informed and aligned decision for yourself in terms of where you want to move forward. And like we're not in a rush. A lot of people think, I'm going to be a year behind everyone else. It's so irrelevant, I think, in the long run. So yeah, definitely worth it. Just use it well. Think about stuff that you've been wanting to try, I think. And now you've got like this year where anything goes, anything can... You can try anything. It feels like a bit of a risk-free zone, which is nice because a lot of people are like, you're at school, you don't really want to take focus away from school, or same with university or whatever it is. And you kind of get this little pocket of time where trial and error is okay, failure is okay, and yeah, you can sort of play around. So that's been pretty instrumental for me, and also just have some fun with it. Like, traveling and stuff, you get a bit of adventure in there, which is nice because it's rare that we get to do that. So I definitely recommend it, especially if you're not dead set on something by the time you finish school, sixth form, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people, when you speak to them, they say, yeah, I did a gap year. What did you do within that gap year? A lot of them, surprisingly, they just say they worked and earned a bit of money for themselves and saved a bit of money. I don't really see the point in that, to be honest. I guess you can do that at any point within your, long life. You've got time to work. You've got time to kind of save up and stuff. I feel like at this point where we're youthful, energetic, as you say, like it's really useful to try new things, see what clicks, kind of setting the foundations for the future.
I think it's like, I don't think people understand how like valuable it is to be young as well. Like if you've got this gap year straight out of school, you're 18, 19, I feel like that's the best chance you'll get to experience new things.
Oh, 100%.
And understand. So what did you actually fill your time with then?
Yeah, so the first 6 months were kind of spent starting a business, which we'd been putting off. Not putting off, but wait until we did our A-levels and we're like, okay, sweet, like as soon as we get out of A-levels, we're going to spend 6 months trying to make this work. And then, yeah, January, jetted off to Asia and Australia, actually. So flew to Sydney, did all of Australia and then a couple months in Asia as well. So far, started a business and travel, and then I literally got back like 10 days ago. Not really sure what I'm doing now, kind of resuming the business side of things. seeing how that goes. But yeah, so it's been pretty fun, just a bit of exploration, really.
Yeah, it's awesome, mate. Did you? I remember you mentioned earlier we did kind of catch up for a good hour or so. Nice little walk.
He was nurturing me.
Yeah, easing him into the process.
Yeah.
I mean, how have you found it so far? It's a pretty comfortable environment, isn't it, being here?
Yeah, it's beautiful, mate. It's impressive. It's weird. It's like tucked away on a little horse yard.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite expecting that, but it's pretty cool. Nice environment.
Yeah, it's nice. But the work thing, were you able to find a good balance? Like, were you able to somewhat sustain your travels by earning a bit of money while away?
What's interesting about travel is it kind of teaches you, I think, that your routines are very fragile, or rather you're made quite fragile by your routines. Because like first 6 weeks of travel, the quality of my work went completely down the drain because I was so reliant on this rigid routine that I had at home, and I no longer had that. So it's like, okay, cool. You realize that this rigid routine that you're developing for yourself and that you swear by is actually making it so that as soon as that routine is no longer possible, you can't really operate. So for me, it was like, I now need to become a bit adaptable, right? And now, which is cool because now I'm like much more relaxed about routine. Like maybe before I went traveling, even coming here, I'd have been like, oh, and I'm meant to be working on a Friday afternoon, but it's like, just chill out kind of. You can still be productive whilst going with the flow, you know? And that was really important because obviously I can't be like locking into deep work all the time when I'm meant to be traveling, or I might as well just be at home. So yeah, that was probably the main thing. So yeah, about six weeks in, I kind of got the hang of that and things started to pick up again. And we were like, okay, cool, let's just find the pockets of time where we can, because I was with Charlie, who I'm doing the business with, where we can actually get to work, and you have to make the most of those hours. So it also teaches you to be quite efficient. And then similarly, it's like, how do you step away from that, go and do like a touristy activity and not be thinking about the fact you're not working? Because then that, you know, I think when you're not working, you got to do that deeply. And when you are working, you got to do it deeply. Otherwise they just take away from each other. So yeah, it was kind of learning like how to not be so reliant on a routine, and then find the pockets of focus, use them, and then step back and be okay with the fact that I'm, stepped away and doing something different.
That was incredibly said. I was inspirational.
Mate, it was so quick. I actually laughed midway through you talking low key. I was like, this is hilariously good. Like, also, I'm gonna whip my shoes off because that looks so comfortable, bro.
This carpet is what is it made of?
I don't know, mate, but I'm going to get real comfortable now, to be honest.
Henry was, just so everyone knows, Henry was telling me to spread out before the start of this episode. So if you see me sat weirdly, he's the man to blame.
Anyway, yeah, that was sublime. Did you find, because it sounds to me, yeah, when you can kind of have your play time, and then have your work time, did you find actually you could be more focused in the work rather than like locking yourself and thinking about work all day long when it actually comes down to like results and being efficient? Did you find that was actually better when you had the time to do other things and then you've just designated a small efficient time for work? Oops, didn't see you there. Just to let you know, you have to subscribe to the Somehows Project's YouTube channel to get all of the highest quality content, long form content, all the good stuff, the juicy stuff.
Also, Instagram in the link in the bio @_ the Somehows Project, where myself and Henry are making new content daily. Please follow. Means a lot. Please.
How can you say no? Anyway, enjoy the rest of the episode. Thank you.
There's this law, I don't know what it's called. Is it Pareto's? I don't know, I could be wrong. But there's a law that says like the work expands to fill the time that you allot to it. In other words, if you allow yourself to sit there all day and complete a task, it's going to take you all day because you've got 8 hours to do it. So you can do it a bit slowly. Whereas if you've got 2 hours and in that 2 hours you're going out because you're doing something with the rest of your day, like you need to do it in that 2 hours. And suddenly that's where the efficiency part comes in. So it was interesting because like even now I can kind of drive myself a bit crazy sat in my room for like 9 till 5 pretending I'm sort of working, but I could probably do things way quicker and then just go out and do something else. So I think learning's become outcome driven with the work as well. It's like, okay, cool, what am I trying to achieve here? Rather than like, I need to spend X amount of hours at the desk. start to think of what's the output of that going to be, and then the hours don't really matter. It's like, did I achieve the output? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's step away and do something else. So that was probably the main benefit. But yeah, it's interesting how much it changed the way I work, and I don't know if it's for the better. Like, maybe I'm not going to sort of progress at 1,000 miles an hour working in this way, but it seems to work for me. So
I bet it makes it more enjoyable as well. It's
Yeah.
almost like a perspective thing, isn't it? Being able to work in a shorter amount of time doing the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. It makes it a bit more like peaceful as well, because it's like you can. Well, maybe it's just me, but I think we're probably all a bit guilty of, you can get a bit hard on yourself or stress yourself out. You start, sometimes you get into a cycle of thinking like time off work or being too relaxed doesn't align with ambition, if you know what I mean. Like sometimes, and I think they don't have to be mutually exclusive. Like you can be ambitious but also have some time off and be a bit more relaxed. And it's like trying to find that. And to be honest, some people like watching this, I don't know, some people will think that's BS, because, you know, there's a whole argument about balance and like, but ultimately I think the more quality your time away from work is, the more quality the time you are working is going to be. And if you're someone who can do 12 hours of quality work in a day, good on you.
Yeah.
But I'm just not built like that. So
even though you're not working as much, do you feel like you've achieved more because it's in a shorter amount of time and you've got other things going on as well now?
Yeah, well, I just think my head's better than it has been in the last year. So ultimately as well, like the work you do is a reflection of what's going on in here, especially a business, because a business is a reflection of you. And not in the but in the sense that if you haven't got things right inside, like your work's going to be low quality, your motivation's going to be quite low. So yeah. I don't know if that answered the question, but more so in the sense that the progress has probably come from me just personally being in a better place, you know.
What do you think has contributed to that? Was it the travelling?
Yeah, but I haven't put my finger exactly on why. But I think it was more this kind of... It was kind of the realisation that I can sort of live life on my own terms and stop listening to what other people are telling me how to live. And this isn't me being like, escape the matrix, 9 to 5 is terrible. I'm always saying the opposite of that, because I was actually in a cycle of listening to digital entrepreneurs telling me that I should be working 24/7, I should be making 10 grand a month. And all this noise was like putting a lot of pressure on me. And then I realised, you know, I can actually just relax here. It's my life. I can sort of carve my own path. And so I just became a lot more relaxed, like in the sense that I don't have as much stress or pressure now to be somewhere in a certain amount of time. If that makes sense. And traveling probably contributed to it, because it's... I think it does go back to the thing where you have to be adaptable and flexible, and you realise that you have time to actually understand yourself. And then I'm not being like, oh, I found myself. Well, actually, that's exactly what I'm saying, isn't it? But it's more like you kind of learn that all you've been listening to for the past 18 years are different camps of people telling you what you should be doing with your life. And all those people have an agenda. Your parents have an agenda for security and stability. The school have an agenda to try and get you into university. The online gurus have an agenda to try and get you to buy their course. So every single person's opinion has an agenda. And I find that actually you probably have the answers inside yourself if you just shut off that noise. So yeah, when I was traveling, I tried to consume a lot less content as well, which was easier because I was busy. Like when you're at home, you're going to get bored, you're going to watch something, fill the time. So I would say, like, if you're going to go traveling, I love the boys I went with. We had a great time. But if social development's like one of the main reasons you want to go, I'd say go in a group of 1 to 3 max, because otherwise you'll just find you don't float around and people are much less sort of open to...
Yeah, so when I went on my own, obviously, and I had to rely on myself to be in a group or like meet new people, otherwise I'd just be lonely. So I kind of knew that. But yeah, it definitely does help if you were to go to develop your skills, I think.
Yeah, how did you find solo sort of traveling and the social side? And
it was really fun. Like, I had to meet new people all the time in order to actually do things, and it makes it easy when you go traveling, because it's like Thailand's kind of built for travelers, realistically. So if you're in a hostel or hotel, like, there'll be like group activities, and that's a chance to speak to people, or there's a pool, hanging around a pool, or if you're going out, which you seem to do a lot of.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
surprising.
people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out. So I guess it gets a bit tiring towards the end. I went for a month, but it was a bit tiring. Like people asking me the same questions. It gets a bit repetitive, but I guess
And is it a bit of a thing that like you put all these effort in to get to know people, and then you're moving on in like 24 hours? I see people kind of complaining about that.
I don't know. I feel like I went without a plan. Like I just booked my flight, booked my first hostel, and I didn't have a plan. So I guess if people are doing that as well, you could just, if you make a good friend or meet a girl, you could just like go with them almost. Like I gave myself that opportunity to do that. But also then if you didn't like a group of people or a certain hostel, you can just leave. Like especially on your own, you can do what you want, when you want, how you want. There's no pressure on having to listen to anyone, which if you don't like getting told what to do or do something you don't like, it would be definitely.
I mean, to be fair, that's a key point, because if I would say one thing about anyone who wants to travel, I would say keep it flexible. Like don't book loads of shit, because it almost takes away from half of it.
Like it's just adventurous, isn't it, as well? And if it's your first time traveling, you don't know what you're going to encounter. You don't know if you're going to want to go, actually, someone said that place is really good, so I'm going to just go there. You can do that. You don't need to be tied down to anything.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of freedom from like we joked about in our group towards the end, we were literally booking hostels like I was on the way to them. But there's a lot of freedom in that, because it's like
you can literally, it makes it very easy. Like these places that are like stereotypically known for people to go traveling, like say Thailand, Vietnam, they all make it like really easy to do that.
I'm glad you brought it up, because it probably goes back to the question earlier. Another reason I've just chilled out a bit is because like I had to stop relying on everything being planned and certain. And then for the first like month, it's a bit weird, and actually you start to find it quite.
It's enjoyable, isn't it?
Quite enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you get reminded how like finite time is, especially when you're you're traveling and you've got a month or you've got 3 months. You're not gonna piss around and sort of stay with people who you don't. It's different to being at home, isn't it? Or like you don't have any agenda. You don't want to get anything out of anyone. It's like I want to do this with my time. You want to do that with yours. That's fine. We haven't got enough time to kind of piss around.
But it's really interesting as well, because like you start to fill your time just because with stuff that you want to do, purely because you want to do them. Like you stop trying to get some sort of future reward out of everything. Whereas when you're at home, it's like every task I have to do has to be serving me in the future. Not everyone's like this, but if you're wired in a certain way or you consume certain content, you probably feel a bit like that. And it's like in traveling, you end up literally just waking up and thinking, what the fuck do I feel like doing?
It's like doing an activity for the moment. Like as you say, not looking, you don't need to worry about like later, I'll be fine later. I want to do this now, so I'll do it.
I don't know if this is going to go in, but I had norovirus for this trip.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, I was going to say, bear in mind this is a bus with no toilet. The main symptom of norovirus is you shit pure water, and that's not just a once a day occurrence. It's a 10 to 15 day time a day occurrence. Yeah, so I don't know if I should say this because it could incriminate me. So I ran off the bus. When we got to the Cambodia-Thai border, I was like, okay, like I need a toilet. I was literally in agony. My mates was telling me like, Fred, the passport queue's over here. I was like, shut up, I'm going to the toilet. And I sprint to the nearest cafe, have my shit, come out the cafe and realise I've crossed the border without showing my passport. Like I'm in a Thai cafe. So I was like, right, I'm now an illegal immigrant in Thailand because I needed a shit. So yeah, crossed back round. Went through passport control, got it sorted. But
pretty good story, mate. So you were an illegal immigrant for
probably a few minutes,
however long
but
it took. Yeah.
Well, yeah. How did you find like the? I want to say dating scene, but it's definitely not dating when you're traveling.
Few encounters, all very fleeting, really, isn't it? which isn't really my style in general. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
it was alright. It was I met some cool girls, and but I wouldn't say it was kind of a staple of my trip, to be honest.
No.
And actually, a lot of the lads we were travelling with had girlfriends sort of dotted around the world, so
Right.
they were behaving themselves somewhat. So yeah, it was.
Might have to cut that somewhat.
Yeah.
Definitely do actually. And you do get, I guess, you do build a bit of confidence in that sense, because it's like you have to adapt to
100%.
different groups of people.
It's a brand new set of
Yeah.
people as well. Like they know nothing about you. It doesn't have to be some guys will just be like, where you from? Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that. It can just be genuine chit chat. It's supposed to be fun, especially if you're traveling. Like no one wants to. They don't want to know your life story. They want to have fun. So
Yeah, and it would be different to, like dropping some game to a chick who lives in your local village and potentially is sort of who's living within your radius for however many years
Yeah,
you're going to be living
Yeah,
there.
it's like you
can't-
might have something in common with them, but you might not from a girl from Sweden.
Yeah, it's back to like the agenda. It's back to like the agenda. You're not doing everything for the future and for like a greater goal. I guess sometimes you do just want to have a chat with someone and learn their story, whether it's female or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, big time. I mean, I think it just came it just kind of came naturally through generally mingling and meeting people. Which, to be fair, like sometimes I was in a mood for, sometimes I wasn't. But
Also, it's kind of nice knowing that if you're out in wherever it may be doing an activity and you meet a girl there, then you're more than likely to get along because she's chosen to do that
Yeah.
activity too.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a talking point
Well,
already.
it's, big icebreaker.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I see you got a whoop on. We haven't touched on.
Yeah.
we haven't
did
touched
see
on the
that as
whoop
well.
game. Yeah, I know.
That's cool.
I mean, I've been meaning to get us one or something similar to that.
I'm
but
surprised, mate.
I was,
High Rocks boy without a whoop. That is
I was looking at the rings, like an
Aura.
they're called Aura ring,
Yeah.
which looks pretty cool.
You'll definitely add at least 1,000 points of aura.
It's a ring. You can't really tell. Like,
Yeah, true. But
It's,
if someone asks, that's a good
it's
conversation.
just a ring.
starter.
Do you know what I mean? They
Yeah,
don't
it
need to know.
looks-
That's the point of the ring.
Yeah.
Like I guess the whoop's a bit more out there.
Yeah, it's a
And
bit
like,
more like
Freddie's got two like kind of watches on right now.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is definitely
Like,
a talking
who the
point.
fuck is this guy with
Yeah.
two watches on?
Can't even get.
That one
mate,
doesn't even have a clock on it.
I know. You need another wrist, mate. What are you monitoring? And
I don't know.
How's it
It
going?
arrived about 48 hours ago, and I just wanted to
shit.
experiment a bit, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my recovery today was like 38%, which is wank. I think that's probably because I had 3 beers last night and then didn't sleep properly. But I'm not really going to change my lifestyle. I'm just going to see what behaviours cause what. I might send it back after a month, but we'll see. It's just because I think you can get a bit obsessive as well, like constantly checking it.
100%
Yeah.
you can get obsessive over those.
Especially the sleep thing. I mean, you don't really want to.
Yeah.
It's like I know I didn't sleep well. You know, I know this. I know that. You feel tired. You don't need to fucking see on
Yeah.
the watch. You need to get more sleep, kind of thing.
Yeah. There's definitely an argument to say like you should just sort of trust your intuition and sort of understand yourself in terms of your own body and how you feel. I more got it to like test a few. I kind of want to see, because you hear about like 100 habits you should be doing. I kind of want to see the one, but I believe everyone's biology is a bit different. So I kind of want to see which habits I've considered doing that actually help.
What have you considered?
Well, so for example, like cold exposure, certain things to improve my sleep, whether it's morning sunlight or like no phone before bed, like all this. You can make your life a miserable rule book if you try and do them all.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to isolate like the 3 or 4 things that are actually making a difference.
So you're basically saying it's like you want to get educated to actually know if it's doing. It's kind of like food. Like people may think they're eating really well until they like then track it. They realize, it's like, do you know what I mean?
And it's a
Yeah,
feeling. And it's a feeling
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
food. You can tell when you've stepped up certain things or tweaked certain things in your diet. I think people forget like to actually just look at it and be like, well, how am I feeling? Do I feel more energized when I try and work out? Am I less likely to go and work out? Is my brain a bit sluggish? Like, it's a perfect way to experiment. And that's definitely something you can experiment with. The sunlight exposure thing I've worked on this week specifically.
Okay. Morning.
Morning.
First
So
thing,
I deliberately gave myself an early wake up. It's like 6:30, and I got up and I got out and I walked.
Yeah.
Literally, I must have looked like an idiot while doing it, because I was doing this the whole time, like trying to look up at the sun and get as much sunlight as I can into my eyes. But
is that beneficial? Just staring into the sun?
Andrew Huberman's the guy. You must watch a bit of him.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be worrying about morning sunlight without consuming Andrew Huberman.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, like, it is still to do with like melatonin timing and adenosine and the brain and whatnot.
It's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'm a pretty shit sleeper in general. Like, I'll text or I'll be on the phone to someone before I fall asleep. But this week, I've been dropping off. If I've woken up and I've gone on a walk and I've looked at the sun in the morning, I will naturally be too tired to even stay up past 10:30.
Yeah, which is nice.
That's good. That's pretty uncommon these days with our age. We're just like, hey, I was up till 3.
And then it sets up, and then you're back up again the next day.
I just bought an ice bath, actually. Doing that like once every other day. Like once a day is pretty harsh.
In the morning.
That's pretty intense. Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah.
Getting up early and then going on a walk. But yeah, that definitely helps with recovery. I feel pretty much full.
Well-oiled, good as new.
Yeah, well-oiled. That's good.
That,
like, I just feel able all the time now, which is really nice. So.
Yeah, I'm no nutritionist, but I take a pretty simple approach to health in general. It's like trying to be as close to what we might have been 200 years ago, in a sense. So it's like, if the food didn't exist 200 years ago, it's probably got a load of shit in it. I'm not too strict on it. Like, I'll eat some chocolate, but like, in general, like, unprocessed. And then even going back to the sunset thing, so if you think about it, that is how we originally evolved. We would rise when the sun came up and go to sleep when the sun went down. So it's no wonder that viewing the sunrise and then viewing it set is actually really good for your circadian rhythm, because it's like back to being natural. And I think taking a very natural approach to health is generally what I try and do. But yeah, no expert whatsoever.
Whole foods as well. It's good.
That's also quite simple. It's quite a non-restrictive way of doing things as well, because that's like just one rule you have to follow. It's like try and keep things pretty natural apart from that.
Back with the steps thing, it's interesting with the steps thing, like the modern day way of living and doing things, and sort of going about your day is in an office, is sort of sitting down. I feel like sitting down is such a killer. Like, if you do think back to however many years ago, it would not be part of your day. Like, you know, working.
Yeah, like lounging around,
Yeah. So, you know, for like agriculture, for example, that was obviously a massive thing in which people would be involved in and do for their money.
Yeah.
Obviously, so much less of a thing now. We are literally, you know, we're walking around in shoes with socks on. If we're not walking around, we're sitting around. We're inside an office, for example. No exposure to the light and stuff. So, yeah, it's a massive thing. I think people are out of touch with their natural body clock and circadian rhythm a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it's just the way society's set up now, really, isn't it? It's all technological, and even our phones. We're all guilty of it. Like, there's no pretending that. But yeah, I've just found if you can set a bit of an intention to be a bit more natural with things, then you'll feel a bit better. So, yeah, it's about as far as I've got with health, but yeah.
Well, you got a Whoop, mate, so that's one big step, one big tick.
Like an expert, mate, I can start preaching shit now.
Well,
yes, we'll wrap it up for today.
Thanks for watching. This has been Freddie Castagne, myself and Henry.
Freddie, thank you for coming, my friend.
Yeah,
thank you very much
for having me, guys. Beautiful setup.
Thank you for today.
It's gonna do big things, I think.
See you later. Goodbye. See you the next one.
That was really great, mate.